Hi guys, so video from my studio today, and I believe you're going to be hearing some sounds like birds chirping and all of that. It's part of the process. So I've been thinking about something, and quite recently it's something that has like been on my mind, right? So boxes, right? I feel like there is something about boxes, not literally but proverbially, right? There is this notion where I think that generally as human beings we tend to put people into boxes, um, that we maybe in a way that we expect them to behave, in a way that we expect them to show up for us or show up for whatever, right? And for some reason when you don't, we freak out. Now, I'm gonna say this from my own point of view, right? Because I have seen that I have done that in the past, right? I've met this person, and maybe the circumstances of how we met, or like I'm even talking about friendships, work relationships, stuff like that, right? And then maybe the circumstances we met with and how they've shown up in the past. I've seen that this person, in this aspect or capacity, this person cannot show up in this way. But somehow in my brain I'm like, I've put this person in this box where maybe this person is my friend or this person is my work colleague, and I feel like this person is going to should show up in this certain way, and for some reason they don't, right? and and then I get upset, I get pissed off, when in hindsight what I should have done is, put that compartment where this is how this person is, this is what this person can show up for, and don't push it, right? And that would have just made my life easier. But in another sense, I'm expecting that this person should know that they should show up in this retrospect. This brings me to the point where people know what they're doing, right? People are who they are. And this doesn't mean that people cannot change, right? I feel like if anybody wants to work on themselves, they intentionally have to do it. They have to actually acknowledge what they need to work on and what they need to change about themselves, right? So for me, I've learned that, I mean, it's easy to romanticize the idea of somebody, the idea that somebody can be this kind of person to you, when in hindsight that's not the kind of person they are, right? It's easy to romanticize the fact that, okay, because this person is feeling this role in my life, this person should be a certain way, right? When in hindsight the person has already shown you, like, the preview, the trailer of, this is who I am, this is how I live my life, these are the values I live by, these are the principles I live by. You coming into my life is you signing that invisible acknowledgement that you are accepting all of these things, right? And then we come to people's lives and we expect them to be separate, different, something else. And for people that are people pleasers, we always try to squeeze ourselves into, getting to be this and this and this for other people, or you know trying to feed the idea that other people want us to be, and forgetting ourselves, right? So I mean, I just felt like talking about it will make a lot of sense, because I've thought about this thing for a very long time, like in and out. Like, people like to put people in a box, and I think that is connected to loving the idea of someone, right? Sometimes people will just experience you for 5 minutes, and maybe that day you were in a very, very good mood, you were happy, and the person is like, oh, I like this person, I like who this person is. But in my entirety, right, if I come to you and you spend maybe a 3 4 5 days with me, and you're like, oh, I like this person, right? But you've not yet experienced the other side of me, where maybe I'm very desperate for something, I'm anxious, all of that. You don't think that I have that side, or you don't expect me to have that side, because the idea of you in my head, of me in your head, is the one that you've seen, and that's the one that you want to build the life on top of. But when push comes to shove, when it's time for, you know, more serious things, you're like, I don't like this, right? So embracing people in their entirety, instead of putting them in a box where it's like, this is who I've seen about you, this is all I've seen about you, that's all, like that's all there is to be, and that is what I'm accepting. But anything you bring further, I'm going to resist against it. I think it's a terrible thing to do, but as human beings, it's just something that we do normally. But when we are self-conscious and self-aware of these things, we learn to embrace people in the different phases of life that they get into. Like, for instance, somebody in the phase of life of being in university is different from someone in the phase of life of being a parent. For instance, my sister in the phase of life of being, you know, in university is different from the phase of life she is as a mother, as a wife, you know. And you know, it's just like, it took me a while to actually, my brain to click into the fact that my sister is a mother, right? But I have embraced it now, and I embrace her kids as my kids, and I'm getting used to the fact that she's a mother. So like, you know, things have kind of shifted. But I would not say, oh, because you're a mother now, I would reject you because I loved you as a sister, and you know, all of the things you bring, and I'm not going to embrace the you that you are now, right? So I think my takeaway is people in different phases of their life come out as, you know, several things. And also, like, we cannot just embrace the one part of somebody that we've seen. We have to like wait and see the whole and be like, okay, do I like this person? Not just the idea of this person, you know, maybe the person was sweet and kind to me. Like, people have like their negative and nasty side. Is this something I want to embrace? Do I want to become a better version of myself for other people, you know, so that even if they embrace the idea of me, even if my negative parts are there, can I show up in a better way than just being there? But honestly, sometimes it's good to be there because you can't always be up and up. Okay, I think I'm beginning to ramble now. So yeah, I just thought I should talk about it because it was something that was really heavily on my mind. The whole putting people in a box and liking the idea of people as opposed to liking people in their entirety. I hope that this somehow has, like, you know, resonated with someone or something, because my head can like just bring up some topics, and sometimes I'm just like, oh, let me talk about it. Sometimes I'm like, it came up for me a couple of days ago, and I was like, I recorded a video about it, but I just felt like it just makes sense to be recording these videos as like rants, not rants per se. It just came to my mind to be recording these videos as like, you know, short clips, not just any, not like, oh, this is a whole channel, this is what we, just something very raw and very unscripted, right? Just talking about things like straight from like my mind. So it's not like I arranged it and I just put it out there, right? So if you like this, please share. I guess, I don't know, shall, like, just if you liked it, like it. All right, see you next time. Bye.